All right, and we're back to cover our buyer folder. To pick up where we left off from the buyer consultation, there's some information that we're going to provide to these buyer clients that have taken time out of their day to come meet with us in our office. That it's going to be a lot of additional value and great content that they get to take with them. And it gives us an opportunity to touch on a few more things. So obviously, you've got the folder here. They are pre-made for us in the office. Our operations team has these things ready to go. So all you have to do is grab one. All the information's already in there. So again, after I've wrapped up with my presentation of that PowerPoint, I transition right into this with, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, wanted to make sure to cover the information in the folder here. I've got a lot of great information to send home with you. So let me just take a minute and go through it. So at that point, we simply open that up. As you can see, there's some good information here. We've got the Nickley Group Home Buyer Guide. This is a great tool. This is something that provides a lot of good information. As you can see, it's branded and specific to the Nickley Group. I go through this, and it's kind of a hybrid or just a different format in terms of what that PowerPoint is, but it also gives a lot of really good information. So I really emphasize with the buyers that they should take time and look through this. Again, it introduces them to the team, shows all the members of the team there, gives them your home buying roadmap, starts out with your strategy, your financing, how to do showings, offers, negotiations, how to protect your home, the closing, and then getting the keys to your new home. From there, your strategy starts here. Every decision could cost tens of thousands of dollars, right? So it's a great value add and great content to provide to these buyers. For them to walk away with. It gives them a lot of stuff to consider and to think about as they are moving through the home buying process. Funding your dream, the mortgage pre-approval process gives financial examples down there at the bottom. Selecting your home, negotiating the terms, making your offer, what examples of seller closing cost contribution would be, protecting your home with inspections and warranties, closing on your home, what to expect at a closing, your lifetime resource, and why the Nickley Group. So this is a really quality piece of information that they get to walk away with. And again, I can assure you there are very, very few realtors in the market that have a quality booklet like this for a client to walk away from a consultation with. So that's that. Then I cover that. I touch on this just briefly, but basically we had touched on the idea that we're going to be asking for referrals along the way. So right out of the bat, tell them, hey, we're growing our business. We need your help. So who do you know who's thinking about buying or selling a home? If you know anybody, give us a call or visit our website, tngravenfans.com. So great little nugget there. Then I get into the path to a successful closing. Actually, get all this paperwork out of here. That way I can separate it. So path to a successful closing, it's kind of a synopsis, if you will, of bullet points along the way, right? Hours of operation for our team, mortgage application process, financing steps, the difference between a pre-qual and a pre-approval, the appraisal, loan conditions, what clear to close means, your inspections. There's a resource here for homeowners insurance, a survey, when that gets ordered, why it's needed, your cost for a survey, confirmation of your closing location, your walkthrough, your closing funds, the closing, so on and so forth. So it's a good kind of a step-by-step synopsis of some of the things we've already talked about. So I cover that. And then this one's really neat. I like to cover this with people. I like to spend a minute to talk about it because this is called 88 Types of Turbulence. And what's great about this is that you can set the expectation with buyer clients that real estate transactions can be bumpy. There can be bumps in the road. There can be things that go wrong. There can be issues that you encounter along the way. But this is designed to show them that these things may go wrong, and it's okay. It's common. It happens. Part of my job as their representative, as their buyer's agent, is to kind of get out in front of some of these things, forecast that they're going to happen, and create solutions so that we overcome them, or that they don't happen at all. Okay, so it's a good expectation sheet. I guess a way that you can kind of use a way to create an example would be, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, if you were to take a trip from here to California, right? You boarded a plane. The pilot's job is to get you from here to your destination as turbulent-free as possible, right? To make it as smooth of a trip as possible. Well, that's my job. I mean, as the pilot, as your advisor here in a real estate transaction, is to make this process as smooth and seamless as I can. But there may be some bumps along the road. Okay, so I spent time talking about that. It's a great expectation tool. We talked earlier too in the presentation about our loyalty agreement. This is our VIP loyalty agreement, and you'll be looking at hard copies of this as well. But I wanted to introduce it. The top section here talks about as your buyer specialist, I will be doing this. And then as our client, you're also entitled to the following bonuses. We get them to sign it, and essentially that is creating a sense of loyalty and a commitment between that buyer and you. Okay. What's great about it is that if for whatever reason there was some sort of hesitation on a buyer to sign that, we immediately follow that up with our cancellation guarantee. So basically, we're working together, and if they feel like they're in a bad relationship, or we're not performing the way that we said we would, or they change their mind and they're not buying a home any longer, they're not locked into an agreement that they can just simply cancel, and it's risk-free. Okay, so it makes it really smooth and easy to get that signed. As I mentioned, we provide a copy of the contract. It's a standard as is FAR/BAR contract, so we provide a copy for them to be able to review. The other tool in here that we have, which I think is a really neat value add, is that if you haven't moved in a long time, or it's just been a long time, that there's so many things that go into moving that can easily be forgotten. So we give this to folks. They put it on the refrigerator, and it gives them some heads up: 8 weeks out, 6 weeks out, 4 weeks out, 3 weeks out, 2 weeks, 1 week, and a couple days before closing. So really neat tool, just a checklist of things for them to think about and to go through. A lot of folks have given us good feedback on this. I cover all of that information. I make sure that my business card is in there, so they have all my contact information, and put it all together and hand it over to them, and they walk out with a valuable piece of information, a lot of literature, and they feel good about that appointment. So that's pretty much the buyer folder. Thanks so much.